The only person that's literally contesting, and he has to, is Iron Man. And Iron Man is getting destroyed by the Thanos of the Fortnite world, and that is the Big Grawl and Mongrel. And what's the most interesting thing is when I tuned into Mongrel's Twitch stream after this incredible day one, he wasn't creative.
33 trios remaining, so probably going to get a little bit of aggression here on the north side of upstate New York. We saw plenty of this yesterday, but right now, Chapek, Squeezy, and Milan, aka EP Electa, you can see right away Shockwave coming out, and Pablo Wingu trying to create a little bit of space here, but they're not going to give him even a moment to breathe. Second Shockwave being used from the Enterprise Gaming player, and he's going to find Pablo there. Shakedown as well to try and identify where the other two teammates are, make sure they get the max damage coming through to indicate the Storm Surge, and a good pickup there.
Versus going against a power POI like Doom's Domain, like the NA East Zexros of the world.
Which I think is the right decision, and we talk about these scavenger routes. That's when you're not landing at one of the named places on the map, and you're just trying to get an aggregate number of chests and whatever loot. Generally, you're also utilizing the fishing pools because there is a solid amount of weaponry that you can pull from there. We've seen the clips of people pulling those epic and legendary pump shotguns, as well as just key fish at the right moments. But being able to pick up 3 points there, each elimination being worth 1, and that will be our first trio going down on the day here in match number 6. Well, and it feels like all Mongrel really needs to do is to be able to just rein himself in a little bit. You can tell when he gets that red in his eyes, wants to go forward just like the charging bull that he is. But right now, CRR finding a huge headshot there with the Stark Industry rifle. We talked about the first shot accuracy reset on that being very, very, very quick, and they're going to be able to get a little piece of kind of this third-party action. We saw Stir6 get taken down early, and they're using the palm blast there from the Sentinels to be able to send them forward. You get a nice little redeploy going off, and you can roughly control the direction because it's based off of where the hand is facing. But right now, using that to try and close the gap here. However, the revive is coming through, and it doesn't look like they're able to identify where Smudge is right away.
Wolfie's trio and co, they came right now into this match at 6th place. So they're coming in within that striking distance. They just got to string together a couple of strong games. And you're seeing here their box fighting skills as they pick up a knock on Smudge, who did get a knock on Stir6 here. So Stir6 trio is around this area, and there's all the way up. So it's going to be interesting to see what Kenzo Wolfies did. They could get a strong start. They had a good start in day 1, getting that victory royale. Nice. Wolfies with the confirmation right there with 2 elims, looking really, really solid. I'm expecting this trio to start picking up elims, considering that is what they do best. Their average placements is about 12 place. Their average elims is sitting at 3. No doubt this trio could do a lot more work, but it was that game 2 goose egg that really did hurt their stride, and we have to avoid those goose eggs going forward. So if you're on top of the board, you don't want any zeros. You don't want to get knocked out before that 17 place threshold. You want to keep doing what you do, and that is what Benji and Savage now they have to do. Now there's no Lechi, so that's going to be a duo moving on. It's going to be so much riding on the line for this to keep up the pace that they're sitting in 3rd place at the moment. Opportunity to get that power weapons, opportunity to get those loots, but at the end of the day, man, you're going into these dangerous zones injured.
And you can see Squeeze picking up eye drop there. He's going to get the confirmation there. Matzo's getting busy on top of these guys. As Savage actually eats a bunch of bullets in the back. I think that was either the dual media or one of the other teams who's kind of posted up on the side there. They're going to work along this bottom side tunnel here, but they need to be conscious of the fact that they don't have a ton of white heals outside of the chug splashes, and largely they want to save those for in-game scenarios or when both of them need them, if possible, because now it's just going to be effectively wasted as they're thrown against Benji there. And you can see Savage has a player at his back as well, hopped into the box, but they're not paying attention to what Benji has brilliantly done there to get the first conversion. That's largely going to be Storm Surge pressure, but above them, raining down shots on the Centric ADN, and the Train Hard duo Matzo and Amplify, but Benji going to be able to clean up one. Savage gets the other, and a nice pickup for them there. 4 points so far, but Savage, man, very little white HP.
All the metaphors in the world will not explain how intense that situation is. It is Rojo's trio, and they're doing really well here in the grand final stage, sitting at 10th place, and they pick up a big knock on Hen. And Hen, Puchik, and Deceptos were one of those trios that a lot of people were picking as a dark horse. So this is going to be a big impact elimination, not only for Dave just on the leaderboard, but for Rojo's trio for just to have that confidence of knowing that they can compete. And that just what's really wild here about that the 30-30 33rd team can still walk away with the grand championship at the end of the day. Deceptos, Patrick, and Hen. And we all know, just like Mongrel's importance to that trio, Hen is super important to Deceptos and Patrick. And Patrick goes down.
Patrick goes down again. Smash Dave, again, you talked about it. Rojo, the World Cup duos runner up there with Wolfies, now representing Smash Esports. You can see SB Nate and then Bobo of Exalti as well. They came up clutch in the final moments yesterday, but now putting good pressure. And we talked about it. Hey, what's the difference between the first and the 33rd team in the finals? Well, they all get to play all 12 games, and it's a fresh slate once you get there. So all that matters is you got invited to the dance, and right now these guys have been very much so capitalizing on the opportunities and finding some great rifle shots. And the angles here from these guys almost completely covered. And notice how they have the metal full belt cones above them, cutting down the angle on anybody else who might be or might even thinking about throwing shots towards them. So good effort there to convert into 4 points.
It's all about the acute angles right there. Everything matters. Every moment matters. Every knock matters. Every confirmation of Elim matters. This is what the intensity is of Fortnite competitive play, especially on the grand final stage. And some people will be able to step up to that pressure, and they're going to be able to play outside of their minds, and we're all going to get hyped and say, what are you doing? What did you eat for breakfast? How are you doing this? Or some of them are just going to be able to fold, but that doesn't matter. I mean, you made it this far. You have an opportunity to build off of this, to build that confidence. And that is what's so amazing about this, is that if you think about the EU region entirety, it's probably one of the most dense regions in the Fortnite competitive scene.
Oh, it's absolutely the most tense. The most players competing, especially at the highest level when you're going through the most tournament participation. And you've seen time and time again that some of the plays that come out of this region and the gun skill and the level of mechanics are utterly ridiculous at times. Might not have the most discipline, but what does discipline matter when you can beat the person who's across from you 9 times out of 10? And right now you can see Clement and Floki Nakos were able to pick up an elimination onto Vidil and Fastroki's trio. So going to be able to snake away a point there and also avoid Storm Surge for that 5th zone threshold. It is 50 players, so we're right at that line. We are also at the line where placement points are about to begin to be doled out. So once we get into the top 17, every single trio that falls will then be 1 more point. Then once you're into the top 3, there's an additional 11 points on the line. 3rd gets +2, 2nd gets +4, and then the Victor Royale walks away with a big old +5 and whatever eliminations they can rack up at the end. And right now we're seeing, again, good discipline here from the French trio, finding an angle, being able to put pressure, and they pull priority on this zone here. You can see their bottom right-hand corner, they have the white line, and everyone else is going to have to pass them if they want to head to safety, and they're going to begin to try and head upwards a little bit. Nope, they open that up and they say, never mind, somebody's directly above us, we're going to stay on this low ground.
And here we are going into full storm rotations now. 6, 7, 8 are going to be outside of the storm every time this trio gets into the safe zone. And then 9 is the ultimate closing zone. We'll go all the way down to the entire screen is filled purple. But Nakos gets a big knock on Yanis on the same layers there as they're going to make their full rotation. That is the power of having priority. You can kind of look back and they get X-Squeeze as well. So they're going to trade out when Nakos is going to go down, pick up the quick heal. That's a great benefit as well, being on the front side of the storm. You have the time to res, and they're going to barely get that res off. And now we're going to take a look at the chaos. You're going to have the low ground form up. You're going to have the mid ground form up. And of course, who is at height is always the question that everybody wants to know, because they're going to have the power position here to walk away with the Victor Royale. Savage goes down and gets fully confirmed in the feed. All the names are going to start lighting up here for the moment here, Sundown.
Yeah, now we have our placement points beginning to get doled out, and they're going to come in very quickly. 2 already ticking over as we're into our top 15, 35 players remaining, but a good execution there coming through from Nakos and Co to get back to a strong 3. Now they're going to about face and start spraying shots. Andalix will also get confirmed by Blackie, so that's our second place team being taken down. We talked about Rojo and Co, but they will be no mo there as he gets taken out. However, Mongro, Tayson, Mitro, if the number 1 team doesn't fall and gets high ground every game, this is going to be a race for second as they open up match number 6, just like they closed the rest of the day yesterday. Controlling high ground and raining down the AR shots with nary a contestant in sight. So we're going to hop on board here with the French trio, who's continuing to work on the low ground. 4 eliminations so far. Nakos has the legendary pump as well as the bandage cannon, so good opportunity to potentially execute here in the late game and make some plays.
CRR stealth, Wolfies does get knocked, but it is an opportunity though for at least Clement, Floki, and Nakos to kind of close the gap as much as possible. Yes, already metaphorically as well. On top of the leaderboard is Mongrel, and on height is this game as Nakos does pick up an Elan right then and there. It's so important though. We've been seeing the playstyle in the EU region to overcome height at a moment's notice. We've been seeing a lot of low ground victory royales. The question is can Mongrels hold on? And Kenzo is actually going for height, and it's Cammy. Two teams are competing from height, and it's going to be Tayson that's going to be left on alone. And you mentioned Mongrel going down. That is the ultimate closer for that trio. Mitro and Tayson are going to have to do it as Cammy and Raxo take control of height, as you're seeing on your bottom right. On the top right is going to be the low ground, and Clement, and man, look at them. They're getting so many elims right now, already with 7 Sundown.
And there's plenty more on the board. They're also getting the placement points ticking over. Top 4 with 9 players remaining. But all of a sudden, Clement is all alone. He's going to turn around and pick up CRR. It's going to be a 1v3. He finds a second right away. That was Mitro for the full confirm, but he goes down in third. Raxo up on the high ground, running it out now, and the challenge comes up from Kinzo, and he gets swatted down. Raxo and Gamma Gaming Cammy will close that one out.
But remember, we've got the standings. We have these cumulative leaderboards. You've still got Mongrel, Mitro, and Tayson. They're far and away, even after that game, 40 points ahead? I don't know how they're doing this.
Get third overall. This is what Zeke was talking about, though. Raxo, Cammy, and Artur of Victory Royale. 14th place all the way now to 6th with 76 points.
Wow, that's impressive. And,